Hi everyone. Hope you've all been keeping well. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to True Crime Over Time with me, Rosie. So, we've been covering the Sandra Birchmore case, and particularly the last two videos that I've put out have been about a statement of Chief Donna McNamara at a 2022 press conference detailing the findings of an internal investigation at Stoughton Police Department into three of their own former officers. So that content wasn't really about the passing of Sandra Birchmore exactly, but it was more about the prolonged abuse of her while she was alive. Today we'll look a little bit into her actual passing. Now, some of you may know that there's been some development in recent days suggesting that it may not have been self inflicted as originally claimed. So, there's a really great video of Robbie Harvey on this, which I will link here for everyone. I think it's from about a year ago. But something that he noted that I thought was really interesting and quite right of him was this inconsistency when describing the scene of Sandra Birchmore's apartment when she was discovered deceased. And this here, where the report says the apartment was messy and unkempt, but then it also says no signs of a struggle. Now, I agree with Robbie Harvey that this inconsistency doesn't really make much sense. I mean, how can you really detect a struggle if the apartment is notably untidy, right? Especially if you're not familiar with the environment and you don't know how things are meant to look. But I want to take this observation of Robbie Harvey's even further and point out this inconsistency as well. The apartment was messy and unkempt, but the bathroom was generally tidy. Now, that is a little bit odd to me. I obviously don't know what Sandra Birchmore was like as a person. I don't know what her personality or character was like, and I don't know whether she was messy or tidy. But is it normal for those standards of messy or tidy to change depending on the part of the house that you're in? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe, but I'm not sure. But I mean, I find myself asking, like, was she messy or not? Right? I mean, there is an inconsistency here. But, if we look at how the apartment is described, it seems to me like, there's items strewn all over the place, there's boxes too, exposed box springs, trash and cat hair all over the place. And I'm not entirely sure if this is consistent with like a messy person, because it's not like there's dirty dishes or piles of laundry all over the scene. It sounds more like things were in disarray. And honestly, to me, this sounds like it could be resultant from searching. Like somebody was looking for something hidden or thrown away, and they probably found it before they got to checking the bathroom. Or it was something that you wouldn't even need to tamper with the bathroom for to find. Now, that's obviously just speculation, as always, but I think at this point anything is possible if we're looking into, some of the things around this case that have come up suspicious. But I'd like to look through the statement from Chief Donna McNamara dated 24 June 2024 regarding some of the new findings relating to the passing of Sandra Birchmore. Okay, so she says, to the Stoughton community, as part of our ongoing review of the deeply troubling pattern of events regarding the life and passing of Sandra Birchmore, we have been engaged with counsel as the family of Sandra is suing the town of Stoughton. Sandra's family has hired a pathologist who has issued a report as part of preparation for the civil lawsuit. We have received and reviewed the report and are aware that the Boston Globe and other media have received the report as well. My statement in response to the report is below. The Stoughton Police Department is committed to transparency in this matter, and we continue to provide updates as they become available. As chief of the Stoughton Police Department, I have directly participated in this lengthy and aggressive internal affairs investigation. In September of 2022, I released an executive summary which revealed for the first time the horrific injustices, including grooming and abuse inflicted upon Sandra Birchmore at the hands of one rogue and corrupt former police officer and additional inappropriate S relationships by other former police officers. It has been my stated mission, guided by both my understanding of the policies and procedures of the Stoughton Police Department and my own moral compass, that this process must be as transparent as possible, and that we follow every lead and shine light on all aspects of this horrific chapter in our history, no matter what. I need to be clear that our police department has no jurisdiction over the investigation of Sandra's passing, which occurred in a different community. However, I will reiterate that the Stoughton Police Department has assisted and continues to cooperate with other law enforcement agencies. Sandra received not so much as a sliver of justice during her life, and we will not cease in our efforts to ensure our duty to administer justice, and she is not forgotten in the aftermath of her passing. As part of our ongoing work with other agencies, I have uncovered relevant investigatory information over the course of both the Stoughton Police Department's internal affairs investigation and in our mandatory preparation for the pending lawsuit filed by Sandra's family. We have and continue to turn over all information to the appropriate agency or agencies. However, as a police administrator and investigator with decades of experience, I would be remiss if I did not remark that I have reviewed the findings of the outside doctor retained by Sandra's family. I was profoundly disturbed and troubled by what I read. While I am not trained as a medical examiner, and I am not qualified to draw any direct conclusions, the findings certainly warrant further examination at the highest level. As always, I will continue to assist with any efforts to ensure that the truth and justice prevail. Every good and decent police officer should be aware of and angry about the injustices inflicted upon Sandra Birchmore. Sandra idealized police officers and what policing stood for in America, and she was victimized as a result. The only mantra of good cops must be never again and never on my watch. Okay, so I haven't seen the report by this new this new medical examiner's report that they're referring to here, but I have heard a little bit about what's in it. And I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into that topic, mainly because I don't want to freak you guys out, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. But I do believe that the findings of the family's pathologist relate to the hyoid bone, because that's what's been in the news, and that is a factor in a case where you're investigating a hanging or a potential, self unaliving by hanging. So here's an article titled "Diagnostic Methods in Forensic Pathology: A New Sign in Passing from Hanging," which is how we know Sandra Birchmore supposedly unalived herself. And it says that the purpose of this article is to evaluate the usefulness of studying vital injuries at the sternal head insertion of the sternocleidomastoid. For those of you who don't know, that's these muscles down the side of your neck here. In the medical legal assessment of passing away by hanging. And I'll just skip to this part here where it mentions the hyoid bone, which has been mentioned, I believe, in Sandra Birchmore's new report. And then here's another article. It's called "Hyoid Bone Fracture Associated with Head and Neck Trauma, a Rare Case Report." And I'm literally just going to read the first sentence here from the abstract. It says, "Fractures of the hyoid resulting from trauma other than strangulation are very rare." So that's where we currently are with the case of Sandra Birchmore and her passing. This is a very tragic case. It's quite difficult to report on as well, but I think that for awareness it is very important. And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please do let me know. I look forward to hearing from you all, and hope you have a lovely day further. I'll be back with more on this case soon. Bye.